So without further ado, excited to introduce Scott. Scott Brown is the VP of Growth at Larky. Today, we're shining a spotlight on our partnership with Larky, who is an innovator in proactive member engagement. Together, we feel like we've created an integration here that makes it easier than ever for you to deliver targeted, meaningful, and actionable push notifications that really resonate with your members and create really unique product offerings. Today, Scott will be leading us on this journey, and he'll be showcasing a demo of Larky's capabilities and dive into an ROI assessment that highlights the tangible benefits of leveraging this integration. So, Scott, without further ado, I'll let you take it away. And thank you for your time and being with us today.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, friends at Lumen, for coordinating this. And thanks to everyone that's on for giving a little piece of your day to learn a bit more about our partnership and kind of what we do. It is very difficult talking and sharing my screen at the same time. So bear with me one moment. I actually forgot to share. There we go. Sometimes you need to know your limitations, and multitasking may not be one of my strong suits. There we go. So I'm really, really excited to, like Austin said, kind of provide a bit of a refresher, a bit of an overview about the partnership, about the way we've been working with Lumen, and also the way we've been working with some of your peers, some other Lumen clients. And so we'll dive into all of that today. The overall theme of today is getting you an idea and hopefully leaving you with some thoughts about how you can better engage with your members by tapping into the digital channel. We know that our members are disconnected, that it is really, really hard to get our message front and center. And so the partnership between Larky and Lumen aims to solve that by allowing you to communicate directly to your members when they're not at all engaged with you, using the digital channel to be the sort of the conduit between your creativity, your message, our messaging portal, and then the member's mobile device. So it's all about breaking through the noise, helping you drive engagement, helping you drive financial results, and creating a deeper relationship with your membership, again, by tapping into that digital channel. As Austin said, if you have questions or things jump out, please feel free to put those in the Q&A function or the chat, and I'll stop periodically and we'll go through those. Let's just touch on what we're going to do today real briefly. So we'll share a little bit about who Larky is, kind of why we do what we do. We'll talk about communication today and the things that we're hearing from our credit union clients. What are they doing? What's working? What's not working? What are some of the challenges? Then I'll introduce you to Bob. Bob is my sort of everyday member, but I'm really excited to introduce you to Bob. We'll look at him and how he interacts with the world and some of the ways that you may be able to better engage the Bobs at your financial institution. We'll then look at some real world use cases. We'll talk about some examples, and I'll show you how some credit unions have overcome the challenges of communication in this highly digital, if we're being honest, disconnected world. We'll look at some success stories and go through the financial results of those. And then we'll wrap things up with additional Q&A, and I'll leave you with some key takeaways, and we'll set the stage for next steps. Before we dive into all that, I would just like to say, one, thank you to the team at Lumen for working with us on this integration. It is so exciting to have worked with the team for years, and it's even more exciting now that we are in the reseller program. It is such an easier thing to deploy. The contract is simple and straightforward. There is no contract. It's a change order. It's in alignment with your existing billing. And so it's really, really easy for you to add this on. And so kudos to our partners at Lumen for bringing us all of these great clients. There are many, many more in various stages of conversation with us. But heck, this is impressive. It's such a great thing to see these credit unions seeing value in this and doing some really, really great things to drive engagement, to drive results, and to drive better communication with their members through the integration that Lumen and Larky have put together for you. So I won't drill down too much into who Larky is. I feel awkward talking about myself, but real briefly, we are a QSO. We support credit unions. And again, our whole mission is helping you create those meaningful connections with your account holders. These are the 5 use cases we tend to focus on. Now, with that said, the sky is the limit in terms of the ways that you and our other clients use this platform. Truly, anything that you have to communicate out to your audience, whether it be marketing, more operational announcements, Whatever your voice is, this is a great way to do it. We primarily look at helping financial institutions use this channel to drive deposit growth, to help you with liquidity, to help you get your CD specials and your promotions out in a meaningful way to your memberships. We help you drive the adoption of loan products, increasing card usage and activation, reducing fraud by using this as a real-time channel of risk mitigation. And then lastly, we help gain adoption of all of those other fintech solutions, all those other Lumen partnerships that are member facing. There's a ton of value in this partnership ecosystem. However, in order for you to get value out of it as the credit union, and in order for your members to know about it, you need a means to share that value with them. And so this has been a key channel to helping you gain adoption and to share the value of those other projects that you've been working so hard on. At the end of the day, this is about helping you drive financial results, but also bringing your brand front and center in a meaningful way that people pay attention to, thereby creating those meaningful, long-lasting relationships with your membership. This is the challenge that we aim to solve. And I think we all know this intrinsically on some level. We're obviously not in this like old school 1950s bank branch environment. And I think that's a good thing overall. But it leaves us with some challenges because we're not seeing folks as often as we would like. And that doesn't just mean they're not walking into your branch. It means that they're not going to your website. They're not in your digital ecosystem. Yeah, they're not physically in your branch as often as you want. There's a challenge. The credit union has great value to provide. You have great products and services, but we can't be in this reactive world waiting for members to come to us. So we need to be proactive. We need to get in front of our members' needs. And that is a major, major challenge when we are in this sort of weird, disconnected world that we live in. And so helping you break through that noise, breaking down those barriers, and getting your message front and center is really the challenge that we are aiming to solve here. I'll spare you the full-on statistical analysis here. What I would like to leave you with, however, is that traditional communication channels are declining in effectiveness. There's no doubt about that. We see email click-through rates going down. We see web traffic in decline. And so it begs the need to have a channel of communication that helps you break through that noise, that complements your existing strategy. And I should say, we are not here to replace the things that you're doing today. Keep doing your email strategy. If direct mail is working for you, keep at it. If the billboard on the highway gets people calling in or going to the website, keep doing that. However, when you look at a multi-channel communication approach, and we look at, again, those more traditional means somewhat in decline and maybe not as effective as they once were, you then need to complement it with something that does work. And the real idea here is getting you out of this sort of one-sided conversation where you have great value to provide. You have maybe a great offer on a share certificate. You have a great checking account product. You're really, really good at doing auto loans. Well, it doesn't help the credit union accomplish its goals, and it doesn't help the member in taking advantage of those services with you if they're not hearing your message. And so, again, let's get you out of the one-sided conversation. Let's tap into the way that people interact with the world by using this integration and get your message front and center. So again, it is all about being proactive with the communication. It's about getting in front of your member, and I can't stress this enough. It is about getting in front of your member when they're not thinking about you. Hate to break it to you, but that's the majority of the time. Now, how do you do that? It's really, really tough, right? It's tough to break someone's attention when your members are out living their lives, not thinking about the credit union. There could be an opportunity where they could do more with you, where you could help them. But if you're waiting for them to come to you, you're missing that opportunity. And so as much as I would like to say that we are marketing whiz kids here at Larky, the truth is we are simply tapping into the way that people interact with the world. We're glued to our phones. When our phones light up, we look at them. That is just the good, bad, or the ugly truth about it. But let's take advantage of it. Let's tap into that, and let's get your message front and center by realizing that power and by doing just that, lighting up your member's phone with relevant information that helps them, that helps you. And when we do look at those more traditional forms of communication, and again, we see them continuing to decline, our engagement rates actually continue to increase. And so we look at, say, the click-through rate of an email versus the tap rate of a push notification, and we continue to see 7 to probably 10 times plus the engagement rate. And again, no secret sauce per se. It's just tapping into the way that people interact with the world to drive your brand and drive your message front and center. And the point is helping you grow the sale of products and services. Absolutely. We want to help you drive financial results. That's how we show strong ROI, but also giving you an opportunity to sort of get your brand in front of your members, share your value proposition, and remind them why they bank with you in the first place. So let's look at what this actually looks like in execution. And in order to do that, I'll introduce you to my buddy Bob. All right, so here's Bob. I invented Bob just based on the way that I talk to credit unions and the things that I hear from them and understanding the competitive landscape and being a little bit of a Bob myself. So let's look at Bob's situation. So he says, my checking and savings account are at your credit union. My direct deposit comes in every 2 weeks. I pay my Amex bill out of my checking account, but I mostly use that Amex for my day-to-day spending. He says, I have a sweet high interest savings account at Ally Bank. My auto loan is through Chase. And hey, not to brag, but I have a HELOC from Wells Fargo. So what does that tell us? It tells us there's a ton of opportunity there, but that opportunity may not always be a good thing. There's a lot of risk there, right? We know that our members are diversified in the types of banking relationships that they have. That gives us opportunity to bring in some additional services from the competition, but it also means that our member, our Bob, is wide open to those other financial institutions that also want that higher wallet share or his direct deposit coming in or to be his PFI. So let's take a look at Bob as he goes about the world, and we'll kind of look at this through the lens of digital engagement. So Bob is out living his life, not thinking about any of his financial institution relationships, and he sees this notification come across his phone. We all look at our phones when they light up or when they buzz in our pockets, and so he sees this, hey, that's a sweet offer from Chase. So they're planting that seed in his head, right? Chase has got him now. Then the next day he's out and about again, and he sees this, and he gets a push notification from American Express, and he says, look at this offer from Amex. And trust me, these are not far-fetched. These companies are doing this. So they are definitely messaging your members through this way. And so Bob isn't just a figment of my imagination. Bob is a real person, a real member that is likely one that looks just like many at your credit union. So next day goes on, Bob's still out living his life, and he sees this, and he gets another offer from Ally Bank. Remember, he has that sweet savings account at Ally Bank. And so he sees that, he says, oh, Ally has a great offer. And so they're all getting in front of him. They're tapping into this channel because it works, because it delivers results. And as you can see from Bob's reaction, it gets his attention. It's not just financial institutions, though. It is pretty much everyone we do business with has tapped into this channel because um, it delivers results, because it is that means of proactive communication where the member, the customer, does not have to be in that mobile banking app to get these notifications or in that application at all, which is why we see Target and Starbucks and Panera and all of your major retailers tapping into this channel to drive a significant portion of their marketing efforts through it. And so the good news is we're here talking to you about how you can also sort of beat the competition at their own game, step up your own communication, and tap into this really, really vital channel of communication. All right, so let's look at Bob. We're back to Bob. Bob is out living his life, and here's where you come in as the credit union. So Bob's looking for a new car. Bob is at the BMW dealership, and that car looks just about as cool as my buddy Bob is. And so there he is standing in the auto dealership, and he says, hey, I'm Bob. I need some wheels as cool as I am. So he's in the dealership. He's in auto buying mode, exactly where we would like our members to be, especially if we're focused on auto lending. So Bob's in the dealership, and his phone starts buzzing. And we look at it, right? When that happens, we look at it. It doesn't matter. At least me. I can speak for myself. When my phone buzzes or my phone lights up, it breaks my concentration. I look at it. It is what it is. So this is happening to Bob. So phone lights up. He sees this. Main Street FCU looking for your dream car. We can help tap for a great rate. And so it's gotten Bob's attention. He's now reminded of his credit union, Main Street Federal Credit Union, and they've got him exactly where they want him, right? He's in a dealership. They're talking about auto lending. And lastly, that tap for a great rate, that call to action, they're making it really, really easy for Bob to engage. So Bob sees that and he says, well, that's easy. Thanks, Main Street FCU. And so I'll talk a little bit more about how this plays into our integration with Lumin, but think about the ability to geofence certain locations or location groups where your members may be to deliver messaging that is just as relevant as this. Again, talking about an auto lending offer to Bob when he's standing in a car dealership. So with that said, Austin, if there's any Q&A that's come up so far, please feel free to jump in. Otherwise, I will share some more examples with y'all.
None yet. We'll keep it moving, Scott,
All
for
right,
now.
sounds good. Thanks. So here's an example, and I want to share a few of these with you. Just hopefully, as you're sitting there and you're thinking about the initiatives at your credit union, you're thinking about what you would use if you had, or what you would do if you had this channel at your disposal. Um, of course, many are after deposits and maybe in a bit of a liquidity crunch. And so, how do you overcome that? How do you get the awareness of, say, a share certificate special or a high yield savings account or something that will help you bring funds into the credit union? Yeah, you'll probably do an email campaign. Maybe you'll put a banner on the website. Maybe you will send out a direct mail campaign. Those are fine and they can work, but think about also sending this out to a group of the membership, whether broad-based messaging or a subset of the members that may have balances over a certain threshold or that we know have deposits at other FIs. But again, think about sending this out. Great rates are back. We're talking about a compelling offer on a share certificate special. It's branded as the credit union. My generic branding there would actually be yours. And so you're building the brand every time you send one of these out. And again, the key element here is not only are we getting the members' attention on a channel that they pay attention to, but we're making it really, really easy for them to take the next step in the journey. That tap here to get started can route them anywhere you'd like them to go, whether it is back into the Lumin Digital ecosystem or out to a third-party landing page, URL, website, LOS, whatever is appropriate to send the member to on the next step of the journey. We're making it very, very easy for them to do more with you through this channel. Couple of, I guess, logistical things around these, and then I'll share a few more examples with you and we'll get into some success stories. It is a fully opt-in experience from the member's perspective. So there is nothing that the credit union has to manage in terms of opt-ins, in terms of permissions. The member is presented a permission request for push notifications and location sharing directly through their phone's operating system, and it's fully managed by them. A very, very key element to our integration with Lumin is that when they accept that permission request for push notifications, that then defaults to an on setting within the Lumin mobile banking app. So let me say that again. Member opts in for push notifications. There is nothing else that they have to do for you to be able to deliver these notifications through the mobile banking app. They don't have to go into the app settings itself. That is part of our integration. So that's really, really key. Now, once they've opted in, you have that audience at your disposal, and the member does not have to be in the mobile banking app. They don't have to be logged in. Again, the secret here is they don't even have to be thinking about you. And then you're able to use that mobile app as the means to get your message out to their phone's lock screen or out to their phone's notification banner, whatever it may be. As a rule, we see 70 to 80% that opt in for that opt in for push notifications, and about 60 to 65% that will opt in for location sharing. I'll get into location in a bit more in just a moment, but you'll have the vast majority of your membership that want to hear from you through this channel, and you'll keep them. A big part about what we do is ensuring that I've said it 1,000 times probably already. People pay attention when the phone lights up. That's where we are today. We want to protect that. If this becomes noisy like email does, we'll lose that altogether. And so we are really, really, really hypercritical about how often these are delivered in order to make sure that they are relevant and meaningful, and limited in nature is the key in order to do that. And so we have limits in place in the platform that will not allow you to over message any individual member, which is how we keep these as attention getting as they are.
Hey, Scott, I do have a question, and I think it's a timely one. So
Yeah, sure, go for it.
get to it. And it may have been something you touched on, but the nomenclature is a little different. Does this depend on the member accepting marketing mobile alerts in Lumin? Talking about the notifications.
That's a very good question. I do not believe so. Let's follow up,
Oh,
Austin. I may need
okay.
some input on Lumin, from Lumin on that. But my understanding is that push notifications are an on-off setting, and if they're on, they're on. But
Hmm.
let's follow up and get a better answer on that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll follow up. If the individual that asked that question will drop me a note, I'll make sure to get that question answered. Um, The another question, the opt-in process is still not 100% clear to me. How and when is the opt-in presented to users?
Yeah, great question. And I also see Paul has his hand raised, so maybe he has an answer to that. But
Mhm.
let me tackle this one real quickly. So the way it works is this. The integration between Larky and Lumen is totally built out. It's in place. As you saw, we have many, many clients that are using it today to great success. Once your credit union goes live with Larky in our version of your mobile banking app, the next time the member logs in, they're presented with the permission request. So again, two permission requests, one for push notifications, one for location sharing. That is automatically pushed out to them as soon as they're back into the mobile app after we've gone live.
Paul, I don't know if oh, I think that was a hand raised by mistake, so all good there. And then
Okay.
Lumen has an opt-in screen for push notifications. If members opt in through your process, does it integrate to opt them in for Lumen's native push service?
Yes, our push notification and permission request then defaults to an on setting in the Lumen mobile banking app settings. Yep. Any others?
Not yet. Thanks,
All right,
Scott.
thanks for the questions. Yeah, keep them coming. Those are great questions, and I like I like that the wheels are starting to turn. Let's talk about this example real quickly. As I said at the beginning, this is a channel of communication that can be used for anything. Um, Truth be told, we built this as a marketing platform. We wanted to help drive deposits and loans and card usage. However, as we've been working with credit unions for years and years now, additional use cases keep coming up. And now, the one that you see on the screen is kind of sadly, I think, the number two most popular way that our platform is being used today. I say that because fraud is just so rampant and it is a sort of sad state of the world we live in. But our clients need a way to communicate real-time fraud events out to the membership. And so think about that taking place. What do? You put a banner on the website, you send an email out that not everyone's going to look at, and you do your best to kind of weather the storm. Whereas if you had this channel at your disposal, as soon as you catch wind of this going on, you send this notification out, hey, heads up, this is what's going on. Don't hand over your login credentials or whatever it may be. And so you're using this channel to show the members that you're on top of it, right? That gives them some peace of mind. You're then reducing inbound call volume, reducing fraud losses, and we're always using this as an opportunity to further our brand and to create additional value. And so in this case, the call to action, that tap to learn more, let's take it to your safety and security page on your website and talk to the member about why yours is the safest and most secure place to bank and why you're on top of this. And so it's using this channel of proactive communication to both help the credit union, again, mitigate fraud losses, mitigate inbound call volume, but also let the members know, hey, we're on top of it. We've got this. This is a great place to bank because we always know what's going on. All right, I wanted to touch on this because, first of all, we're back to the marketing world. Let's talk about, in this case, driving card activity. But the real reason I want to talk about this is because it introduces that additional layer of our integration with Lumen being location, being the ability to geofence certain locations to then use that as the triggering mechanism to deliver these notifications. These notifications do not always have to be based on location by any means. As you saw in the fraud alert example, maybe we just send it out based on timing being right now out to the entire membership because they need to be aware of this. Or I know a lot of the country was affected by snow and inclement weather this week. So it's a great way to get branch closures, holiday closures, your local community events out there in front of the membership. Now, so location does not always have to be part of it, but when we do add that additional layer in, we add additional relevancy and we see higher engagement rates. It's about getting not just the right message out through the right channel, but also at the right time and place. And so in this example, think about just how hard it is to bring your card top of wallet and
Hey,
to maintain that level of debit interchange.
Scott, sorry to interrupt. I'm still seeing the slide where it says push notifications that drive engagement and results. Is
Yeah,
that
that's okay.
okay?
I shifted from hopefully you're okay. Here's my last one.
I see.
Fraud
Okay,
alert.
got you. Just
And
wanted
here's
to make
the gas
sure.
pump.
Yep.
Are we good?
Perfect.
I know they look the same. That's great criticism, and I will take that because I do think I should mix it up. The notification
I failed the
example.
test. I failed the test.
No,
Sorry.
man. No, actually, to the contrary, you were paying attention, so that's awesome. No, the point here is we're talking about the gas pump notification, and so again, think about the challenge of bringing your card top of wallet at the point of sale. We've had credit union clients that have geo-fenced gas stations in their area, and as soon as the member pulls up to the pump, they're presented with a push notification talking about your reward debit or credit card, or maybe cash back offer, or something that incentivizes the member to use your card and to, again, become top of wallet. It's a really, really tough thing to do, but using this has been highly effective at maintaining and increasing debit interchange and card usage, again, because we're getting the notification to the member at the right time and place. Other examples of location would be, if we go back to Bob, auto lending at a car dealership. Think about maybe promoting your HELOC product or home equity loans at a home improvement store, geofencing payday loan centers. And as soon as a member pulls up to one of those to get some cash in a desperate need, you're able to present them with a push notification that gets them to the branch where they can get a much more friendly lending offer and get them the cash they need. There's a ton you can do with location in branch use cases as well. Think about using this as a channel for your NPS surveys, to deliver your NPS surveys, or maybe you want to talk about the latest product promotion as the member walks into the lobby. Again, tons you can do with location. It's an element of our integration that's in place today, native to our platform. And again, not always needed, but it does add that additional layer of relevancy. All right, let me share just a few success stories about how some of your peers are using this. Peers being other credit unions. Here's a credit union that used this platform to deliver a holiday lending product over the holiday season. This is something they've had for years and years and years. It's a short-term spending loan around the holidays, giving their members the additional, just some additional cash during the holiday shopping season. It's not a huge loan. It hasn't been highly publicized. They've always promoted it via email in past years. And in past years, they've written about 10 of these loans, which is whatever, right? They've helped 10 members get some cash. That's great. That's fine and dandy. Well, this past year, they were a client of ours, and so they promoted it out through this channel using the notification that you see on the screen. In full disclosure, I probably would have told them to chill out on the emoji use a little bit, but it's hard to argue with their success, and so they did a really good thing, and it's very much on brand for this credit union. But nonetheless, they promoted it out through this channel, sent it out on a Friday. Again, picture like December, peak holiday shopping season. By the end of that day, they generated 78 loans. By Monday, they had 125 in. Again, compared to 10 loans in past years when promoted via email. The point being, this is a service that their membership wanted to take advantage of. Clearly, they just didn't know about it. They weren't paying attention to the other means that it was being communicated. And so when you have this channel at your disposal, you'll see increased engagement rates and therefore increased results as this credit union did. This is another interesting study. This is, by the way, that last one was like a $400 million community credit union. This here is a multi-billion-dollar university-based credit union in Michigan. But they were, I actually, while I'm saying that, the one point I should get across is that it's a highly scalable product. Whether community size or multi-billion dollars in assets, this plays really well with the audience. And again, it's very, very scalable in terms of pricing and usage. This credit union was trying to drive deposits, and so they had a CD promotion that they were running, and they, as you should, promoted this out through all channels at their disposal. On the traditional side, they use an email campaign, statement inserts, and direct mail. And then on the Larky side, they use push notifications. And so it was kind of this thing where they didn't care where the results came from. They just wanted to bring in deposits. And so they were casting a wide net, trying to do everything that they could, but it also presented an opportunity for comparison and allowing them to look at how they allocate their resources in terms of marketing efforts moving forward. And so at the end of this, what they found was that 16% of the results came through traditional, and traditional is labor intensive. They had to print mailers, they had to pay for postage, they had to build an email campaign, build out email lists. There's a lot involved in just generating 16% of the results. On the other hand, through our channel, we delivered $3.1 million in share certificates or in CDs, again, representing 84% of the results of this campaign. And so it's an interesting thing. It's great that we delivered results, but it also helps the credit union, therefore, look at resource allocation moving forward. And you go where the low-hanging fruit is. And if it's really easy to get a push notification out, which it is, and it delivers a significant portion of the results, well, then scale back on your more traditional, less meaningful forms of communication, and save money in doing so, because we all know how expensive direct mail is and postage. And so you shift your strategy moving forward. Again, we'll always support an omni-channel, multi-channel approach to communication, but it does show you just how meaningful this can be. And then again, allow you to more optimize the resources that you have. Here's another example from our friends at BCU. Same thing, trying to drive deposits. This case, they had a push notification that went out to the membership, one notification. This notification brought in 37 CDs for almost $700,000 in deposits. The somewhat unique thing here is that this was one notification that linked to a financial calculator on their website. It allowed the member to go into the website and see how their funds would grow over time if they took them up on this offer, and it was clearly compelling. And so very, very successful for them. Of course, they've done multiple campaigns such as this after having such success. But I would like to share with you a little bit of insight from BCU. And so if you'll bear with me, I have a maybe less than a minute video clip from Bhavna, the Chief Digital Officer at BCU, but I think it'll be insightful for you. Let's hear from Bhavna.
The reason why we went with Larky, driven a lot by how our members are today. We find that people who connect with us through mobile banking come back more often. They are the more engaged members, and about 9 out of 10 are engaging with us through mobile. So clearly our members are banking through mobile. But we realized that push notifications is one channel that we hadn't experimented with. It's been fascinating. We knew that we'd be successful. You all have done a great job of building a great platform that is engaging, that makes it easy to do push notifications. But even more, it has done better than expectations. We get a double-digit engagement from Larky's platform at the moment.
Before I dive into this, I would just like to say that that's awesome. The team at BCU is doing some really, really cool things. All of our Lumin clients are, but double-digit engagement is huge. If you look at the average click-through rate of an email campaign, they tend to be like 2 to 4%. Low single digits is doing pretty darn good. So when you see double-digit engagement through push, you're hitting it out of the park, and you're getting that message front and center. And again, these are notifications that are going out to those members that are not at all engaged with you, that are not in the app, that are not in your digital ecosystem, that are certainly not in your branch or on your website. And so it is maintaining that level of engagement in a proactive sense by getting in front of the member and sharing relevant information when they're not at all in tune with you to begin with, which is really, really critical. All right, so let me touch on this real quickly. I've said this before. Many of you have probably, yeah, go ahead.
We have 6 questions that have
Oh yeah,
popped
let's
up.
do that.
I'm thinking this might be a good transition point. So,
Yeah, let's do it.
Austin, you want to jump in or you want me to do
Sure.
it?
Yeah. So for starting with opt-in, for new members, does the opt-in present during registration?
Yes. As soon as for a new member that is new to the credit union, once they install your mobile banking app, they will be presented with the push notifications, assuming that we are already live. Otherwise, they'll be presented with it once we go live.
Is there an integration into CRMs like Salesforce? Thinking about how this could be utilized with marketing journeys specifically.
Excellent question. We are in conversations with Salesforce to integrate Salesforce Marketing Cloud right now. I can't give you a time commitment on it, but we are constantly bringing in data sources. It's really exciting for us. It's something that we've been working on. We'll definitely keep you posted on that. We are currently integrated into HubSpot. So if any of you are using HubSpot for email marketing, you're able to create lists or segments or audiences in HubSpot and have those automatically pulled up through our platform to then send complimentary messaging. We are integrated into Trellent using their predictive analytics platform, where you're able to pull in those subsets of membership for next best product prediction. And then we are also integrated into Deep Target for your in-app banner ads. We continue to add data sources. We also have an API. So if there's an in-house solution or a business intelligence tool that you're using to query your membership or to query your data, let's talk about connecting to that as well. Even without any automation, any automated connections, you always have the ability to import lists from wherever. Our factor with Lumin is the Lumin GUID value. So it'd be a CSV file with the GUID that identifies the individual member, which then gets us to their mobile messaging token, which allows us to go to that specific member. But yeah, let's talk about adding additional data sources always. And then even in the interim, you're able to upload lists for segmentation purposes.
Thanks, Scott. Can the push notifications be targeted to a group of members? If yes, where do those targeting rules get defined?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I was just talking about. The targeting rules or the criteria for the segmentation is totally up to you. Maybe it's those that have a CD maturing in 30, 60, 90 days. Maybe it's those that have balances over a certain threshold that we're targeting for a particular deposit product. Maybe it's those that haven't swiped a debit card in 30 days. Whatever the criteria, whatever your initiatives align with, we can ingest a segment for that and then send targeted messaging to that. One thing that I should add, which wasn't exactly part of the question, but I want everyone to leave knowing that you don't have to feel like you're on your own with this. We have a really, really talented client success team that will work with you both during implementation and on an ongoing basis to share best practices, to help you with campaigns, to help you with segmentation, to help you review the analytics. And so you'll have a dedicated resource here at Larky to help you do all of that.
Are you still working on a way to provide credit unions with member data from the geolocation flagging?
I'm not sure I totally understand the question. Let me take a quick stab at that. We do not track the members as they go about the world. I can't tell you where your members are today. I can only tell you when a member has crossed into one of your geo-targeted locations or location groups. And you can set as many of those as you like. We can tell you, I can tell you if you're targeting auto lending and you have a geofence around auto dealerships in your area and Austin walks into one of those, I can tell you that Austin was there. As Austin's going around his life, not going into one of those targeted locations that I don't have visibility to. Not sure if that hits it or not.
But in those situations, you are able to provide that though? And the scenario you described, is that data that you are providing?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can create, just think about like drip targeting efforts after that. Say Austin goes into the dealership. Austin goes into the dealership, he gets a push notification. Then one of two things happen, right? He either taps the notification and continues to engage, or he swipes it away or just ignores it and does nothing. We can then take those two different buckets, we know them, take those two different buckets and set them off on different marketing paths, right? Maybe the people that didn't tap, we talk to them high level about the value of doing an auto loan with us. Those that have tapped and engaged, we talk to them about how easy the application process is or what comes next. So yeah, absolutely, we have visibility into that, really for the purpose of then subsequent marketing efforts.
I like this question. How do you facilitate attribution of the push notification to the opening of a product, like from a tracking perspective? How are you attributing that notification to the opening of a product?
Yeah, it's a great question. Here, full transparency. Once it leaves Larky's platform and goes to your LOS or goes to your online account opening, we no longer see it. It's out of our visibility. However, because it's a push notification and not a text message or an SMS, that destination URL is never shown to the member. And so you can then embed tracking codes. A lot of our clients will use Google Analytics and they can embed their UTM codes that way. That way you have direct attribution that this product or this account opening came directly from the push notification. Alternatively, a lot of our clients will set up specific landing pages that are only accessed through these push notifications. And so there are ways to do it. Quite frankly, there are other clients that are happy with the results that this delivers, and they don't get that granular in terms of where is this opportunity coming from. They just see an increase as they deploy the push notification. So we can work with you on getting really specific in terms of tracking, using URL tracking codes, using landing pages, et cetera. Yeah, we can help with all that.
So, and then just going back to the flagging, just to clarify, confirm an assumption. So a credit union is not able to see who the member is, just that a member was in a tagged location, received a notification, or are you able to see who the member is?
You can see the specific member. We can tie the Lumin GUID value back to the member themselves.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate us walking through those.
Yeah. Feel free to jump in. There'll be a little bit more Q&A at the end if anyone has any. I do want to touch on this real briefly though. The point I was getting at, and many of you have probably heard me say this, and I know full well that every time you're in one of these and there's some sales guy talking to you, it's always that this is so fast and so easy and it's already done. And so I'm going to do the same thing, but you'll have to believe me because the integration is fully in place. This is not a major resource burden to stand up. At the end of last year, we looked at all of our implementations, and from the time you say go to the time you send your first notification, it averages 5 weeks. During that time period, it's pretty minimal staff involvement. You're looking at testing and training, just a couple hours of each. The training is not really how do you send a push notification, because if you're interested in a demo, I'll show you what our portal looks like. It's really easy to send these things. It's more understanding your strategy, your initiatives, and helping you craft relevant messaging right out of the gate. So not a ton to do to get this up and running. Again, the integration's in place and it's ready for you to deploy. So lastly, I'll just leave you with some takeaways here. I would ask that you think about this in terms of modernizing the way that you communicate with your members. This is the way that we all interact with the world. Let's meet the members where they are. They're not going to change. Get ahead of the competition. Again, every major fintech, FI, large bank, community bank, those that are trying to eat our lunch are doing this. Let's beat them at their own game. Let's bring your brand front and center. You don't have to be a Bank of America to deploy this type of resource, this type of engagement tool. And so let's get our brand front and center. Let's remind the members why the credit union is the place for them to do more. Think about your future member. As you're in strategic planning and you're talking about diversifying your membership, think about the future member and how they interact with the world. This is it. Again, we can't ask them to change. We need to meet them where they are, and using the digital channel to drive engagement is exactly how you do that. Then ensure the success of your other efforts. I know everyone has a project list that is a mile long. You're investing time and money into bringing additional value to the membership to help the credit union grow and accomplish all of your goals. Ensure that those initiatives are successful by having a channel of communication to share that value, to share these new enhancements with the membership. This has been really, really critical at helping gain adoption of credit monitoring tools, of direct deposit switch programs, of bill pay. So think about the means to have that outward reaching member engagement tool to drive all of your other initiatives forward. And lastly, I threw in have fun, and it's cheesy, but it's true. It's a fun way to communicate with the members. These are conversational, they're short, they can use emoji if that's on brand for your credit union. And driving results and accomplishing your initiatives is also fun. And so this is a fun path to go down, and we'll ensure that we keep it that way. Lastly, in terms of next steps, I will be reaching out. I'd love to show you a personalized demo. We can show you what your branding would look like, and then we'll dive into the portal, and I'll show you actually how these are crafted and how we do the segmentation, how we do that subsequent drip marketing efforts, what the analytics look like. As I reach out, you're either going to say, this is awesome, I can't wait to see it, let's schedule a demo, that's cool. Also, if it's not the right time, just let me know. For every response that I get back, I'll enter you into a raffle, and we'll give away this sweet Larky JBL speaker to someone. And so I'll be following up. Again, shoot me a note. I'll put you into the raffle, and we'll either schedule a demo or we'll put a pin in it until the time is right. But I'm really looking forward to those future conversations and sharing about how this could be part of your engagement strategy moving forward. Lastly, I'll see if there are any other questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap things up for today.
There was one other about pricing, and I referred her to her CX manager because there's variables that we need in order to quote the price. So hard to give up online.
Yeah, sounds good. Lumin will handle pricing, contracting, all the fun stuff. It's really streamlined and easy. Anything else?
Not yet. I'll just comment. There were a couple questions about just the Lumin standpoint of the integration that we'll get some clarification on. Make sure we get those answers to those folks that asked those questions. Last call for any new questions. In the meantime, just want to say thank you to Larky and Scott for joining us today, for being a valued partner, supporting a lot of our events that we have throughout the year. Be sure to stop by, say hello to them at different events. And if you have any more questions or would like to see a demo as well, our CX team is available to help facilitate that interaction also. So encourage you to take a look at it and see how it can help your institution. With that, Scott, if you have any parting thoughts, please feel free to share. Don't see any questions. So everyone have a great rest of your day. Scott, if you want to just provide some closing thoughts for us.
Just thank you again for the time. I realize it's a big ask to take time out of your day, and I appreciate you taking the time for the insightful questions and hanging out with me for a little bit. I look forward to future conversations, and also thanks to the Lumin team for facilitating this and for the awesome partnership. Thanks, y'all. I hope to see y'all soon.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Scott.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.